So as previously, we're going to give this a little bit more of an alpha value so we can actually see through it, and then we need the blocked out model for this. After we have blocked out the model, we're going to go back to the guide. We're going to be looking for the tubes, which is over here, and you can go control left click to close all the menus except for the one that we're working for. So remember, control left click. Let me just put this shortcut, this little thing on the left hand side, so you guys can view exactly what I'm doing. So make sure you select the passive model lower. If there's any other models, we don't need them, so just the passive model lower we need. Then what we're going to do, we're going to name this target. We can hide the stuff that we don't need. Let us delete the offset model. Now here, with it being target model, we're going to shift right click, place our cursor, click on draw tubes, and then we're using the G key and the E key. Make sure you use the eyedropper to click on the target model, and then once you've done that, it will extrude according to that, and it'll shrink wrap to the target model. Note how I can adjust how deep this goes into my model. So if you've got a thicker material, you can choose if you want to do selective laser metal sintering. You would then select A to select all the vertices, control A, and then to make it bigger or smaller. You will select the vertice and you can extrude it. Now I don't want to extrude it too much where the undercut block out is, because you can imagine that is just an air pocket, and then we're not getting any surface contact with it. So we want to make sure that we've got a little bit of a surface area contact to this tube. So here we can see it's standing away from the model. We're going to move this into the model, something like this, and then using the E key to extrude. And when we get to the other side, click on that and F to fuse. Now we want to think about the other support, the occlusal support. So I'm going to be looking for a vertice, say for example this one there, and we're going to move this across the occlusion. Now it's good to not move through the embrasures, because then the printing it creates complexity to the models, the guide. So we always want to think about complexity of geometry. So always trying to keep things simple if we can. So here we're going to join this one across to this one. So select it and click on F. And we're going to do the same for this side over here. Extrude and bring it across the occlusion. Select a vert, and that's it. We can actually move this. No, this is okay. Closer. Now just have a look and see that you've got enough contact area. You can even make more across. That depends entirely on you. But I'm going to leave it at that. Make sure that your sleeves have contact with your green tube. This is critically important. Otherwise, these sleeves are not going to join properly with your guide. Don't worry about any intersections. We will take care of this in a minute. So then we're going to remesh the tube, and then the voxel remesh is set at 0.4. If you want to make it finer, you can make it finer and accept. Now I may decide I want some more support. For example, you can always add more support by making a new tube. This time I'm going to select not the target model, I'm going to select the tube itself, shift right click to place my cursor and draw tube. And this time around I will not select my shrink wrapping one. I can just basically G to extrude this across. So here you can see it's been extended a bit because we've got a smooth modifier on it. But if you, as soon as go E to extrude, it will then extrude across where you want it to be. And then you can use G key or wherever you want to put this thing down. Note you can also change this a little bit afterwards. I'll show you what I mean. So here we're going to remesh this and accept it, and then in edit mode you can select one vertex, make sure the proportional editing is on, and then by using G you can then move this into your selection if you want to. So that's an additional thing that you can do afterwards. So know that you are not stuck with something. You can manipulate these vertices any way you want them to be. So if you want to make support or you want to move things a little bit, you can just change things randomly if you want to. Now how do you then join this up? This is easy done. You need to select the one, select the other one, join them, and then remesh them, and that will join them up. Here you can see over there it's joined them up to one object, and accept that. Okay, so we've created additional support, and you can do as many as you like. You can do that on the paint on layer as well if you want to add a tube or something. So it's easy done. The next step is we want to get rid of these intersections. So again we're going to go into the finishing and we're going to view our cutters. This is our hole cutter. We obviously need that one. We're going to scale this up. We're going to take this one and we're going to scale this up. S to scale. That one, scale it up. And then we're going to select them. So 1, 2, 3, and then cut holes in guide. So always double check. If the boolean didn't work, then do it individually. Okay. So in this case, there hasn't been a problem, and we don't have to clear the guide anywhere because our pathway has been cleared. Notice that we have this intersection. This is okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose, this is called layer, which is all good, and we're going to cut fitting surface. Alright, so we're going to hide the model, and this is our guide. You can see how it has cut away the surface of the contact beautifully. Even over here we've got a bit of a cut going on, and over here to the contact so that we can slip this thing in perfectly. Okay, these are all joined up in one unit, and this is ready for exporting if you want to. So this one is complete.